I'm Steve Maddox. I'm a senior lecturer here at University of Canterbury. Currently lecturing cosmology. I also do some galaxy lectures. Health and safety officer, so I'm doing a great health and safety audit at the moment. My research is to do with galaxy surveys, so I've done lots of different galaxy surveys through my career. So I started off looking at photographic plates and using something called the APN machine to measure and digitize photographic plates and measure the position of galaxies on them. And I looked at how the galaxies clustered together, and that tells you something about the way the mass of the universe is distributed. And in fact, it was some of the first evidence that there had to be something like dark energy in order to make the clustering match to the models. So that was quite a kind of a good start. That was my PhD thesis. Since then, I've worked on different kind of redshift surveys of galaxies, including the 2DF Galaxy Redshift Survey, which was based on the AAT in Australia. So I actually had a history of coming down to the southern hemisphere, even before I came to New Zealand. Most recently, I've been working on a survey called the Herschel Atlas survey. That's using the Herschel satellite that's no longer working, but whilst it was working for the last 3 years or so, it was a fantastic instrument observing in the submillimeter from around 50 microns to 500 microns. And so we've done this survey. It's the biggest submillimeter survey that's ever been done, and we're looking at the way the galaxies in the submillimeter cluster together, like we were doing in the optical. I guess my role in it specifically has been to actually do the nitty-gritty details of measuring fluxes and positions of galaxies and try to construct catalogues themselves so that other people can use them to build their scientific analysis. So I've done my own bits of science as well, but a lot of it has been kind of like service work, setting up the databases for people. Well, through lots of random processes, I guess. I've always been interested in astronomy. At school, kind of my physics master sort of, lent out all telescopes, and so I started off as a school kid looking at the sky. I kind of did a physics degree and to let it all lapse because I wasn't really expecting to get a career in astronomy. But when I finished the degree, I was offered a place doing a PhD in astronomy, which I thought was great and gave you an opportunity to travel to different observatories. And so I decided to do the PhD in astronomy, and I've stuck in it ever since. So I started in Cambridge and had a postdoc in Oxford, and then went to the Royal Greenwich Observatory and then up to Nottingham, and then finally moved here a couple of years ago. Well, because I like solving problems, I guess, really. I really get a buzz out of having a problem and finding a solution and actually solving it. And astronomy is a good source of problems, I guess. Sometimes it's sort of simple software problems that you've got a program that's supposed to be doing something and it refuses to do what you want until you fix the final bug, and that's really satisfying. But then there's all the scientific questions that you're trying to measure something and you want to measure it in the best possible way. So yeah, that's really why I've stuck with astronomy. It's just an interesting place to find problems and solve them. A boomerang from Australia, a real proper Australian boomerang. It does come back. I have thrown it outside and it does come back. In fact, I had a slightly bigger one and I lost it. It went so far, it got lost in the trees and I never found it again. But yeah, I spent a lot of time visiting Australia for the 2DF Redshift survey and various other redshift surveys. So yeah, Australia was one of the places I used to visit a lot. Start off with a simple thing, just do some fun, but then you can do the outside thing. You can do it both ways.